Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm your host, Bob DeMarco. Tonight, a new proprietary steel, a sleek new in-house design, how many is too much, and a co-host of magnificent taste and extensive knowledge. This and much more tonight on Thursday Night Knives. But first, please like, subscribe, comment, and share this show with other people that might be like-minded. So now let me introduce Drake. Drake, good to see you, sir. Good to have you here. Let me introduce our co-host, Ryan. You know him as Spirited Whiskey on YouTube, or Spirited Whiskey out in the world, and Spirited Blades on Instagram. Welcome, Ryan.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here again. Yeah.
Such a pleasure. Bad Monkey. 5 more than the last time I checked. Ha, that's funny. Yeah, that's true. Alex, how you doing, man? Good to have you here, sir. The Knife Whisperer. Hello, sir. We will be talking to you shortly. He's a new channel, The Knife Whisperer, and has a new channel, I should say, and it's got some really fun and interesting content. So we're going to bring him on and talk to him a little bit. We have Blade Ogre. Good to have you, sir. Rusty, as always. Nice to have you, sir. And so Ryan, let's talk pocket check. What were you carrying today?
Let's see. Today I was carrying
Caleb. Good to have you, sir.
This guy,
hey, Dave. Ooh.
This is a Trevor Berger EXK SFL. So this is his newest iteration. While I fail front flipping on screen of his frame lock. So this is where he has a lock, the lock bar insert there. But this is a sheep's foot variant. And the EXK is his smaller size with a ceramic pivot, and he does some cool blue ano. It might be a little hard to see the color, but this is what was in my pocket today.
Tell me a little bit about Trevor Berger. I definitely know the name, and looking at this knife, I don't recognize it, but I'm not surprised. Tell me about him.
So Trevor Berger is a South African maker. He's been around a long time. I don't know exactly how long. He's a member of the South African Knife Makers Guild. And but Trevor is, I mean, his knives have been fabulous for as long as I can remember. But he continues to innovate. He is probably one of the most, him and Andre Thorburn, in my opinion, are kind of two of the pinnacle makers in terms of real high tier fitment and finish work coming out of South Africa. I also just got an Arno Bernard, and he's another kind of legendary fixed blade maker that's recently started doing some flippers and pocket and folders. But Trevor Berger is definitely one of the top 3, that are really well known these days too. Well, you got, I guess, Gareth Bull, Jason Guthrie, Trevor Berger, and Andre Thorburn would probably be the most famous 4, right now.
I think Boney Blades, good to have you, sir. I think I would have guessed that was Women Carry Knives. Wonderful to have you. Yes, it just has the lines, kind of like how Russian and Eastern Bloc knives have those lines. Not that it's derivative in any way, but just I can just tell in the DNA. That's a beautiful blade.
Yeah, he does a good job with the jimping. Zipper works really nicely. And size, it's like 2.75 inch blade. So it's not. He does a larger model called the LEXK that's also really nice. But
all right, so everyone, let us know what you were carrying today. Ryan, just one today? Are you a one knife a day guy?
No, I swapped for the evening.
A little wardrobe change for the evening.
Yeah, I wardrobe changed into my Mayo Covert, which has just been this thing is such a joy to carry. It's just such a joy to carry. And so, if I go for a little jog with the dog and the wife, it's great because it can't rust. I can put it in my waistband and my, gym shorts and rock and roll. So
that's a special alloy blade, right?
Yeah. It's made of 6K stellite. I don't know if you can even see the 6K in there, maybe.
So Tom Mayo's in Hawaii, so it makes sense for him to try and make knives that are waterproof and impervious to sort of ambient humidity and such. Trevor does some awesome work. Good to have you, OCD for EDC.
OCD for EDC. Trevor does amazing work.
Barry, good to have you, sir. I am going to join in on this one today. I carried my Southern Grind Bad Monkey that I just got from a great guy on Blade forums who really was patient with me because I sent him the wrong address. I mean, I gave him 2 wrong digits in my address, and the knife came and went all the way back across the country to him, and he sent it back. I mean, I gave him a little extra scratch to make up for it, but I was just embarrassed by that. But this is a great. I love this knife. It's it's in used condition, but in very nice condition, and it scratches my Emerson itch with a different sort of refinement, a slightly different feel that I'm appreciating.
So that has the wave feature on it, right? That's kind of the deal with that model versus the Spider Monkey.
Right. So this was the very first model that came out. It's a 4-inch blade, and actually, I have a number of 4-inch bladed knives, but this one just feels big. But it's light, and I don't mind that it feels big. I like that. But when you put it up next to other knives with 4-inch blades, it's the same size. Just something about it feels. It's interesting. It's 14C28N, 8010, and a TRM Atom Rusty.
Yeah.
Jeez. Nice, man. You going to that desert island? Tiny Knife Day, TRM Nerd. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
Isn't that fun with this is kind of an unusual scale for them that I won in like their Facebook group, but it's like a highlighter yellow or tennis ball yellow color, and this is the TRM Neutron. I just threw these scales on it. It's pretty fun.
That's beautiful. Are those scales G10? Polished G10? Is that what I'm looking at?
Polished G10, yeah.
Caleb, Olamic Wayfarer, 24/7 in my pocket, or 247 in my pocket. He was carrying. You posted yesterday the Terzuola that you bid for and won in the auction. I thought that was cool. I was like, I recognize that knife. I had my EXK Plus with me today, marble carbon fiber.
The Trevor Berger EXK Plus is the liner lock variant.
And larger, I'm assuming?
No, it's the same size as this frame lock that I just had up, but it's a liner lock variant that he does with carbon fiber and usually unique material, whether it's like mammoth tooth or different wood inlays and stuff like that as the bolt. And his inlay work to date, Trevor Berger does the finest inlay work of anyone I've seen in terms of like fitment and finish. You could use the tip of your nail, right? And you cannot feel the joint between where they meet.
That's so cool.
Anywhere on the knife. So yeah, it's really cool that way.
Crazy Knife had a Civivi, the new Civivi. Women Carry Knives was carrying a TRM Neutron, and Bad Monkey had 2 Benchmades on them. The Ruckus, I can't remember what the Ruckus looks like, but I think that's that beautiful recurve with the Spidey hole on it. That I can't remember who designed that, but I think that's maybe what that is. So Chavez Dirk had his Chavez 229 and a bag. Okay, good to see you, Dirk. I was just about to mention. So I'm not carrying these, but I am. Oh my God! So Dirk just loaned me this beautiful Medford Viper, which I gotta say, in hand, it's really. I mean, it is very heavy. It is very thick. Everything about it, but it's really thinly hollow ground. I mean, look at that.
It's a deep hollow grind.
Yeah, it's very sharp, man. It's very sharp. It's almost a 1/4 inch thick blade. I think maybe it's just a 1/4 inch. I don't know. Dirk, chime in. I don't have my calipers. Beautiful knife. I really love this. And I mentioned to Dirk, this is a go to the pit fight with this. Like if this is your last knife ever, this is a because you're about to
car door.
Yeah, right. You're about to go into a gladiatorial match. You carry that. But what I really asked for, what he offered, and what is just blowing my mind is the Direware Solo. This knife.
Man, it's beefy, but man, they're beautiful. Yeah.
Wow. What'd you call it?
Beefy.
Oh, beefy.
Beefy and beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. This is an amazing blade. Beautifully contoured handle. I mean, it is one of the most comfortable handles. It kind of wraps, your hand kind of fits into it like a bit of a knuckle duster. You got this sort of tail end here, bird's beak kind of thing, whatever, and then it comes into quite a nice little point there. Yeah. But also that it's you have a full half circle here in this choil that kind of locks your forefinger in. And then this crazy, crazy grind. I mean, look at the front, how the front part meets the main bevel. Look at that, how it's like this part, how it swoops down. I mean, that is incredible, incredible. This knife to me.
I'm assuming the front part is flat ground that meets that that hollow.
I don't think so. As a matter of fact, I know it's not. Look at it. It's that's hollow too.
Yeah, no, it sure is. Yeah,
this thing is special, and it's M390, and I love the that font. I can't remember what that font is, but that's something I've used before. I just love everything about this knife. It's spectacular. So Dirk, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's amazing opportunity to get to check these out. I mean,
look at everybody's carrying some really great stuff today.
Carried my Smock, Mini Presidio 2, and Elementum. Elementum. J. Cruz, nice to have you. What's an Elementum? I'm trying to remember.
It's a Civivi model, Civivi Elementum.
Okay. Alex was carrying his Delica, but that's, we know Alex, so it's got a special wooden handle. I'm pretty sure that's the HAP 40 blade. Right now in my pocket is the Orion Knives Solaris. Orion. Okay. What is that? Orion Knives Solaris. I like the name, both names.
Someone in the group was talking about
TRM Neutron.
Something coming from Orion Knives, something new. It was a topic that came up in our knife chat today. I don't know what it was. But yeah, I agree with the TRM statement. I mean, value for what they're doing and their fitment work is really good. I wish they had slightly stronger detents on the TRMs.
Oh, okay.
They're a little soft by way of detent. At least I've handled like 3 of them, but outside of that, that's the only thing that I would probably change about it. It's great. It's a terrific model.
It's funny. Dirk said that he feels like this was made for his hand, and it's crazy because actually, it kind of feels like it was made for my hand. And it's all the way over on the East Coast now. Of course, I'm just kidding. I would never. But this thing is gorgeous. And, I'm not a huge fan of I'm sorry to come back to me and my love of this knife, but, I don't really dig carbon fiber. That is some special carbon fiber. That is quite.
It might be the same carbon fiber that's on this Carol.
Yeah, it could be.
It looks very similar to me.
Classy, menacing, high tech, all in one. Anyway, that's a very special knife. My EDC is a Praetorian T in 3V. Nice. Alex just got one of those very, very special knives. So we have a YouTuber we're going to bring on. He goes by the Knife Whisperer. And he's recently reached out to me and some other friends of the podcast, and his videos are entertaining and cool. He's got good taste in knives and some cool knives. Great collection. He's also reached out to me and offered to send me a knife to check out, which I'm always blown away by the generosity and trust people put in you. I guess they figure they can track me down because I come on this show every week. But again, very, very psyched. Let's bring on the Knife Whisperer. I think he's in the green room. Perhaps, well, maybe not. I thought he mentioned before.
We got Jim. Hi, Jim.
He's not in the green room, Bob.
Oh no. Okay, he texted me before. Maybe he'll pop back in. Knife Whisperer, if you're there and you're watching. TheKnifeJunkie.com/join, sir. And we'll talk to you in just a minute. In the meantime, did you see the 2 knife drops I sent your way, Ryan? Yeah. I'm interested in what you think about these. The first one is the Artisan proprietary steel. That was, these are from Knife News, by the way. I'm getting these articles from Knife News. They're always kind of keeping me up to date, and I appreciate it. I mean, by that, I mean I go to their website all the time. But Artisan
9 or something it's called, the AR RPM 9 steel.
Yes, and it's coming out on a new Mike Emler knife, and this is the follow-up to the Stonefish, which came out through a year and a half ago. Beautiful drop point kind of do-it-all field / combat knife. Well, this follow-up is a much smaller, well, I shouldn't say much smaller. It is a smaller sort of EDC as opposed to a field knife. It's an EDC fixed blade, so something meant to wear around the neck. I think that's how Artisan is releasing it. I was speaking with Mike Emler recently, and he was talking about how he likes to carry it scout style on his belt. It's very small and discreet, or you can pop it in your pocket. Mike is known for he's an exquisite knife sharpener. That's part of his business, and he sharpens knives for the Williamson brothers, for Ferrum Forge, for special orders. He gives it the special hand stone grind. Very interesting guy. But this knife in the proprietary steel, what do you think of this? This kind of thing.
I think it's cool. Look, I think anytime a brand can create an extension with that makes itself important, like by being innovative and unique, it's really, really special.
Hey, Matthew.
In the house.
Nice to have you, sir.
You know Matt?
Well, I don't know him personally. I know his work.
Yeah, man, his work, it's just blows my mind daily. So,
it would fit into my it would be a crown jewel in my collection for sure, and it would fit thematically. Definitely, I love his work.
Sorry, I regress back here. I think it's awesome when a manufacturer, especially a production manufacturer, can kind of bring something innovative and new, and not just spit out a redesign or in a different steel that's already being used. And this is something that they probably worked pretty hard on developing together with their steel manufacturer. I guess it's similar to like a powdered version of 14C28M or something, right?
Yeah, I think they want it to be sort of, how 14C, 28, and D2 have kind of dominated the high end budget stuff.
Yeah,
they kind of want this to eclipse that, or to be the next evolution of that, which is welcome, I'm sure. I mean, D2 is just fine, but Direware sounds interesting. I don't need any more knives to sound interesting. Yeah, bought too many customs lately. That's funny. Yeah,
and Emler's a good guy. I've sent him some work in the past. So.
Excellent.
Hey, guys.
Hey, sir, how you doing? This is the Knife Whisperer. How's it going, sir?
Good. You?
Well, not bad. We're I don't know if you've met Ryan before. This is Spirited Blades on Instagram. He's got quite an amazing collection and taste and knowledge, and you have just started a new knife channel, and I've been checking out your stuff, and also our good friend Alex has been talking about you quite a bit, and you've got an interesting channel. What's your point of view? What's your angle?
Well, first off, I love Alex. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
And Spirited, yeah, I've seen your collection a few times between the show here and your Instagram. It's really nice, man.
Thanks, dude.
It's awesome.
I'm happy to. I can't wait to look through all your videos and see what you're doing. But I would love to hear, why you started the channel, and maybe a little bit of what your philosophy is, so that viewers that are in here can go check it out and see what you're all about.
Well, like you guys just said, I just started, so it's a little rough around the edges. You know how you have all these ideas, and then you start to do the video, and then they're just like, you just kind of forget what you wanted to talk about. So it's definitely harder to do than it looks, but I don't know, it's a lot of fun. I've always liked knives, and honestly, I don't really use them. I just like to play with them, look at them, massage them,
Possess them.
Yes. Possess them, be one with them.
So you did a video recently where you were driving in the car, and it was well, you've done a few of them, the Knife Confessions videos. Tell me what those are about.
Kind of like, the little quirks that we all have, sometimes you find yourself doing something like one of them I talked about, spending 10-15 minutes in the morning trying to figure out which knife you want to play with while you watch a movie or TV, and I'm sitting there one day and I'm like, I know I'm not the only one that does this. There's no way, or maybe I am just that weird.
Yeah.
Come to find out, no, I'm not the only one.
So can I call you Joe?
I feel better.
Can I call you Joe? Your name is Joe. So
Joe Frazier, like the boxer.
Yeah, like the box. So I've had the sort of agonizing thing in the morning where I'm standing in front of the knife box and trying to figure out what I'm going to carry. And in my mind, I'm like, what am I going to wear? What am I going to wear today? I'm like, wait a second. Got to say carry and use. I'm not going to wear this. It's not like I'm picking out a tie, right? I'm picking out a tool, which I will be using throughout the day.
It's the best part. You don't know what you're going to encounter that day. You know, could be a rabid dog. You know, you could be out playing with the kids, so you bring just a little knife. You know, you never know.
Well, actually, playing with the kids is the reason to bring the biggest knives, because you might have to defend your kids, and then that's serious business. Yeah. But what I was getting at is like the thought of using the word wear. Like, what knife am I going to wear today? Like, what clip is everyone going to see? It's like no one gives a damn about that. Like,
just write Gucci on the side of it, and you're good.
That's right, man. So you have a special love for Riot knives.
I do. I just the feel in hand, and just I've held a few customs, not many. You know, they feel so well made, and they're like the smoothness, and just it's about the most I can afford right now. You know, so I try to get the best that I can with what I have. You know, and they're pretty hard to beat. You know, for between that $300 and $400 mark.
There's Dirk. Yeah, I definitely I agree. And you can get an outstanding knife from them. Dirk was just ribbing me. Oh, we're gonna get to that in just a second, sir. Dirk was just ribbing me about wearing a knife. Oh yeah. Well, let's see it right now. Let's bring it full screen.
I just figured he was bringing up the love for Riot, and Riot was the OEM for this. Yeah. But this is the Jonas Iglesias' model, right? Logo, rather, with the wolf howling. You see him on there? Yeah. But this is a collab between Jonas Iglesias. This is basically his custom model, the Spark that he does. He said he will no longer make as a custom. And instead, he worked with Wingman EDC to create 2 variants in a very kind of small run of about, I think, 300 total pieces. And the OEM was Riot on these. And it's got the other side is the same, and you can kind of see that copper through the clip. And the clip is very reminiscent of Jonas's. Everything feels like Jonas Iglesias. The Tonto's beautiful. The dual hollows on there. And then, of course, it's got a killer action, but it also has the Lee Williams kickstop.
Yeah.
Now, you have a lot of customs spirited. What do you think, the feel in hand on the Riots? They're pretty close, right?
That's
for the money.
It's so wild, right? Like, customs can vary so much because, you know, some custom makers, like we'll talk about in a little later today, some are very old school and do everything by hand, and they cut their handles by bandsaw, and then work them all by hand and fit them all together by hand.
Hey, Johnny.
And those have a different kind of feel than some of the customs that some are fully CNC'd, right? There's like the CNC customs, right? Like Holtz and Grimsmo's and you know, the like and kind of the in-between, right? Where they use some CNC or some water jet and so on to get their stuff. So Custom Arena has this like very wide range of feel. So I know this is a long-winded answer to a short question, but but Riot is, in my opinion, they are the best OEM manufacturer, period, right now. If I was a custom knife maker and I had a model, I would go through Wingman and Riot to do it. And the cool thing about Riot is too, you can bring them something unique that might not be needed, and they would knock it out of the park for you. Yeah.
The fact that Brian Nadeau uses them is all needs to be said, you know, because that guy is very anal about stuff, you know.
And so Women Carry Knives just subbed to you, Knife Whisperer. So you're heading on up there.
Yeah, get a girl in the group.
Do you know Women Carry Knives?
I've watched her stuff. I'm subbed. Yeah. Good channel.
Awesome stuff.
Yes. She's married to Therapeutic Edge. Do I have that right?
I'm not sure of their relationship, but there is a relationship. A therapeutic edge. I like how he says that. Welcome to a therapeutic ... edge. Keep you hanging.
Is anybody else drinking? No?
I have a little bit of gin tonight.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Gram of Tim.
I'm feeling like a
I-
flapper. Or,
I
I'm
have to
sorry,
work
what
in
was
a few
that?
hours.
What'd you say?
I have to
Nick?
work in a few hours, so I'm not.
Oh,
So let me ask you, Joe, where do you want to take the channel? Like, what are your goals for the channel? And also, where do you hope to take your collection? Are you a quantity guy, or are you looking to get an ever more custom and quality kind of collection?
Honestly, I just want to have like around probably 15 to 20 really nice knives, I guess. And
All right, bad
as
monkey.
far as the channel goes, I guess I just want to roll with it and see how far I can take it. I watch pretty much everybody on here, and I've always thought like, man, I'd love to do this myself, and one day I was just like, oh, let's try it. I know enough guys just from subbing to you guys for so long, I figured I'd just get out there and and put myself in front of the camera and see what happens.
good on you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's fun, and I like how each video, each person, one more for 50. Yeah, someone else. Let's sub to Knife Whisperer.
Oh, thanks, guys. The Knife Whisperer loves you.
Well, also it's fun to see like every person's got a different perspective and gets into it, and it's just like it's okay. So why would you go into making knife videos? Because you like knives so damn much that you're just gonna start making videos about it, and it's fun. And there's a whole group of people who want to watch it and who like to talk about it.
I tell my wife that all the time. She tells me I'm weird.
Yeah. She'll
So
believe it soon.
You could tell it by your logo on YouTube, right? Like by your little picture.
Yep.
I don't know
I just changed that yesterday. I just did that yesterday. I saw that. I was like, yeah, that's got to do it.
Yeah. What are you doing? Are you wearing a cowboy hat and slinging a something?
No, that's some dude from the internet, man. I don't know. He's my cousin Tim. We call him Timmy.
Okay. All right. I thought that was you, and then you suddenly grew a beard. So
let me before we let you go, I want to ask you what you think about this. Actually, Jim, let's bring this up. The new in-house at Knife Whisperer. Hit me up on my channel if you want to borrow anything. Oh man!
Oh, thanks, Dirk.
Take advantage,
thanks, buddy.
yeah,
Take advantage.
Dirk's a good dude.
Amazing channel. Actually, can I give a quick shout out to That's nice. What was that?
This is Dirk just loaned me this. It's a Medford Viper.
Medford Viper.
Yeah, and it is
Sweet.
it is almost the most badass knife ever, except for the other knife he just loaned me, which is a Dagger wear, which I just don't want to take out of my hands ever, but I have to because I do other stuff too,
I just got this. This is the Iron Wolfsburg blades.
That is sweet.
Pretty nice.
That is sweet. Is that made by Riyadh also?
These are made by We, actually. Oop.
All right.
Big knife.
That's a beautiful. What's that?
big-
What's the blade length on that?
7.5 or something.
4 inches.
No, it's 4.
Yep. Yeah, it's nice, and it's got like lightning strike carbon fiber. It's a beast. It's like 7.5 ounces.
That's beautiful. And a full 4-inch blade. I love that. So have you seen the new Zero Tolerance 0707? That's the new one. I know Slicey has. He just put up a video of it
Yeah, it looks like
yesterday.
It's nice. It's a slimmed down bare knuckle, looks like.
Yeah. It sort of does.
I'm not gonna lie, I want it in my pocket.
Say that again.
I'm not gonna lie, I want to caress it, and I want that thing in my pocket. It's nice.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and it's all
stabby. Like, I love it.
And it also has this true detent. Is that what they're calling it? The true detent. So this is so that especially with thin or narrow frame locks, you get that problem with holding down the lock bar with your hand when you try and flip out the blade. So they have this new double detent system, and it is supposed to reduce that factor. I don't quite understand how it does that, but if I did, I guess I would make them myself and make that ZT money. See, never offered anything to me at Slicey, but
stood out to me. was the fact that it's a 3.5-inch blade at 2.3 ounces.
Yeah,
Say that
that's
again?
nice.
It's a 3.5-inch blade and the total weight of the knife is 2.3 ounces. That's incredibly lightweight.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And so it's got the pockets in the titanium, it's got carbon fiber, and then it's got that cutout behind the pivot. What do you think of the cutout behind the pivot?
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's a cool kind of look. I don't know.
You know, people worry about something getting stuck in there. It's not a hard use knife anyway, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. You know, you pull it out to just trim up, you know, like maybe take a tag off your clothes or something, or just flick it around. You know, it'll go good with a nice pair of skinny jeans or something, you know.
Yeah, right. Or in a tux, you know, when you're going to the opera to do whatever, you know, special mission you're doing, you know, because you're a spy, obviously. So Alex asks, Knife Whisperer, can you please give us a knife confession?
Knife confession. All right, let's see. Am I the only one who, let's see here, put on the spot? I know. No. Am I the only one that falls in love with a knife and tells myself that all I need is this one and I'll be good for a little while? And then when you get the knife, it's not, it just doesn't do it for you. It's nice, don't get me wrong, but then the next day you see something else and you're in love with it. It's horrible. It's just a vicious cycle. And I know I'm not the only one.
Yeah. It's kind of baked into the name Junkie. I think that's kind of the, you know, it's like, it doesn't even arrive to the house yet. Yeah, let's hear it.
How many knives?
One more.
In the bathroom.
Honestly, I bring mine into the shower with me sometimes, you know, to get that nice steam effect. You know, it's stainless steel, so supposedly. So
in the shower. All right.
Actually, I do have a knife in the shower. It's it's one of those cold steel plastic stabber knives because, you know, I have them all over the rest of the house. I would hate to be in the shower and have that be the one place, you know, if heaven forbid someone was breaking in. So yeah, I have the cold steel plastic karambit in the shower. Everyone should get one. You're not weird for doing it. Take my word.
I own it anyway.
You what?
I own it anyway.
Ah. So the double detent, what do you think of this tuned thing? Do you think it's going to work or what? Does it make sense?
I like the idea of it, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to sacrifice the action for it. You know, Slicey points out that, you know, you kind of get rid of that smooth drop shut action. I don't know. When you have something on bearings, isn't that kind of what you're looking for? I don't know.
Yeah, but what does dropping shut matter? I mean, it's pleasing.
It doesn't matter.
Is it actually a virtue or is it actually is it a feature?
You're getting it. It's a feature, but you're getting like a game while you're buying your knife, because every time you flip it, the point of the game is to be able to release that blade without cutting your finger. And to me, I mean, you know, you get a 50-50 chance, you know, high stakes.
I got you. That's okay.
I've never quite understood the whole it has to drop shut thing. I prefer a controllable close and open, but
I like the hydraulic action a little more myself, but you know, somewhere in between.
Yeah.
I don't have any knives with hydraulics. Mine are all real simple. Just, just a pivot. No, I'm just kidding. Haha, Bob gave me one of those plastic daggers. It's next to my bed. Hey, yeah, Slicey has a plastic dagger. Yeah. It just kind of seems like the sensible thing, you know, especially if you're in a high humidity environment. Oh no, drop shot action. Laugh my ass off. All right. Well, look, this bad monkey on phosphor bronze washers, you know, it falls shut enough.
That's nice.
We are doing it. Not again.
Yeah. I am. Yeah.
I love your 0630, Bob.
You love my 06. Oh yeah, with the micarta handles. Yeah,
I can't find one. I want one bad.
They are pretty sweet. The struggle for me. The drop shutty thing is pure Chavez effect. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, definitely the term drop shutty and murdery. I like murdery. That's a good way to describe a knife.
The
Pocket pecker.
the trouble.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, brother. The struggle.
Yeah.
is-
It is.
Yeah.
I think the plastic dagger is about 6 kinds of illegal here. Yeah, actually in New York it is for sure. And I know Lynn Thompson did some lobbying there to try and change that. I don't think he changed any mind. Talk about a pocket pecker. This thing is a mile high.
Yeah.
And then, oh man, okay. I'm going to put this thing down because I could just talk about how sweet it is all night.
That's like a gonzo pecker. Remember his nose like points down in the Muppet?
That's a throwback.
Look at that. Looks like
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Really, yeah. So
Nice.
let me just let's do a little I want to talk to you, Knife Whisperer. What do you have coming in? We're going to talk about our new knives, and then I want to find out what you got coming in. And I want to find out what Ryan has coming in.
Okay.
Or what your
Coming-
newest.
My newest is the Iron Pup. I just got that yesterday in a trade, and I don't know if you guys ever heard of Shaker MT. I traded him my Torrent for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saving right now to get the new Riot T3500 from Toshi Baruka.
Oh God, yeah.
They just released the 3000, and it's beautiful. But I mean, it's 3 inches is just, I don't want to spend that money for a 3 inch. I need at least 3.5. You know.
Yeah. You have the Star
yeah, those-
Boy, I know, right?
3.5 inches are cool.
Yep. I got the Starboy right here.
Okay, Matthew Christensen brings up an interesting point about the lockup. You know, that early lockup was such a thing for a while. It doesn't give me any confidence. I guess it's cool, like if you plan on having and using that as your one knife for the rest of your life, and you're really expecting that material to wear in, But that 15% lockup.
The only thing with lockup that I care much about is it has good geometry, right? That they meet in such a way that you're going to have a solid lockup. I think it should be much greater than 15%, but it's more so about like, do those angles meet in the right way to where you see that the tang of the blade interfacing with the lock bar is getting a good solid contact point, right? Like it's not just a dot on the blade tang that's really connecting with the titanium lock bar on a frame lock, for instance.
Bad Monkey says he doesn't understand early lockup. I don't either. And I want to ask you about the lavender pants, spirited teddy bear, Caesar Milan of blades. I love it. That's
the
funny.
blade with fur. I love it.
The Caesar Milan.
Caesar Milan. That was good.
What
did it do?
Do you with the knuckles in the side? Do you remember when there was back in the day when Strider changed their lockup interface? Were you okay? All right, maybe someone else out there who's a Strider. Anyone out there who knows Striders well? I know that at one point
Strider has had trouble, in my opinion, over the years with their lockups. I've had a few myself of recent that hardly, I mean, earlier than 15%. They might be like 8 to 10%. It's
yeah, that's a little sketchy. I want at least 30 to 40.
Yeah, sure, I agree.
But my 30 to 40 could be your 10.
Well, that's the thing. People look at it, they're like, "Oh, it's definitely." You see a video. Well, this back when it was a thing, you don't hear about it much anymore, actually, or I don't.
Yeah.
You don't see it much on videos, but it used to be like you'd see a real close up, and they'd be like, "That's about 64.5%." I'd say 67, maybe.
I don't even show that in my videos because for one, I'm still tripping over my words, and two, I don't know. I got the time to make the weird noises and tell everybody how much I love them. And
Striders are always sticky.
Always sticky.
Yeah, you just get out the pencil and the.
I believe he cuts his interface at too steep of an angle on the blade tang.
Okay,
is my opinion, but I'm not a knife maker.
Okay, so I know just enough to be dangerous, as Alex just indicated. Like, let's not talk about that. That's a loaded subject, man. That's funny because I've had 2 Striders, and the one I currently have is really nice. I got it from Zell, Terrell Todd. It was in beautiful condition. The one I had before that was so sticky that it was disconcerting. I mean, and that was back when, to me, that was a real, I mean, that really mattered. Now I'm kind of like, well, at least it'll stay shut. Tier 1 says Marfione makes a better Strider than Strider.
Ouch.
Funny.
The burns.
That's like ZT making a better Emerson than Emerson, or, you know, and then you hear
or ProTech makes a better Strider than Strider.
Oh,
yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
Someone they actually collab with, and yeah, ouch. Yeah.
Yeah, ProTech's awesome.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you like a Strider design in the ProTech paradigm, you know, yeah.
I got lucky with a recent Strider. My SNG that I've got is this guy. This is the Mandalorian.
Oh, that's cool.
From PDW.
Oh, it's nice.
And yeah, it's got a little I put a Mando clip on there, and this is the way on there. It's pretty sweet for sure. And this is like awesome, like grippy. I don't know how they did that with a CNC machine, but it's pretty cool.
That's titanium?
It is aluminum on this side and titanium flamed on this side. Sweet. And I'll tell you, this is the best Strider I've had, and that's between customs and everything. I mean, it's fabulous. But there is zero lock stick, and I've got, I don't know, it engages pretty early, but it's pretty early.
Yeah.
That's really early.
Just don't go spine whacking it to save your life, and you'll be fine. You know, you got to figure the pressure is in the other direction. I have a big note. I'm not a Mama Luke. I got a big note. Town Hall. Saturday, June 20th. This coming Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time, we're doing another town hall. This time, we're not going to have 17 guests in 5.5 hours. We're going to do 2 guests for 2 hours, maybe go a little bit longer, but we're going to have Andrew Demko on for an hour. We're going to have Greg Lightfoot on for an hour. Two great knife makers, one a modern legend, one a legend since the 90s. And we're going to talk to them about whatever you want to talk about. The new Shark Lock and the 8020 coming out from Andrew Demko, and then all the JVO designs and other super high-end builds and materials, and the crazy lifestyle that Greg Lightfoot lives. So it's a chance to get on, and just like Knife Whisperer came on, and just like Spirited Whiskey came on, the same way I came on, you just click on a link and boom, if you have a phone or an iPad or a laptop, you can talk to us. You actually don't even need headphones and a microphone. I just do this as a security blanket, frankly. So really, you can get on here and ask these knife legends questions. So please join us this coming Saturday at what is this? Hang on. This coming Saturday, June the 20th at noon Eastern Standard Time for the Knife Junkie Town Hall. Lavender Pants, $5. Thank you, Lavender Pants. That is cool. So that is a super chat. Hey, everybody, Bob has a Patreon now. And as Slicey would say, kick in a few shekels to help out. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That is something I got to start saying myself. And I really do appreciate that. Lavender Pants, man. Always showing up and being cool, man. I appreciate that.
If anyone deserves the Patreon, Bob, it's you guys, really.
What, Lavender Pants?
Thank you, man.
A lot of work.
Which one? Lavender Pants.
Lavender. What model is that? Spirited. Are you talking about the Strider? That was the last knife you had up, I think.
This one?
Yeah, probably that.
The Prometheus Design Works version of a Strider SNG.
Oh, wait. Okay. What is Prometheus Design Works? What do you mean it's there? Did they take it and...
It's a collab effort between them and they do some Chris Reeve collabs. They do some Strider collabs. They've done some ProTech collabs. So they're kind of triple aught design, kind of.
Okay.
In terms of like really high tier, high quality hiking / also tactical use stuff, camping stuff, so on.
Adventure gear.
Yeah, but it's like they outsource like collaborative projects with top producers of all stuff. So blades are just one thing that they do.
That's cool. So if you're into flashlights or other things, they're also getting the top names in those to collaborate.
Clothing, flashlights, EDC gear, backpacks, fire making equipment, you name it.
All the cool stuff. Yeah, Lavender Pants is a stand-up guy. I appreciate that.
His name is Lavender Pants.
I have a copyright on Shekels. I stole it from Mark Maron, fair and square. Right on. Slicey. Oh, geez, sorry, I didn't realize we were on the air. I wouldn't have sung. So I want to talk about the states of our collection. I've talked plenty about my Bad Monkey. Now I want to talk about this little knife that I don't know how it happened, but I was getting a puzzle for me and my wife to work on. Yes, we love to do puzzles. A COVID discovery. I hate to be hipster about it, but my parents used to do puzzles. Love that. Got some Legos for my daughter, some sketchbooks and some paints and some other stuff. And oh my God, look at what came. Also, the little new Cold Steel Kiradashi. It's a little $30 knife. And this thing is so sweet. It is, folded up, drop it in the bottom of your pocket. Doesn't even ride sideways. It stands up nice and straight. And is super, super useful, sharp, cool, small, and just has that Japanese traditional look. It's got the triad lock for $30, and they're going old school with the molded plastic clip, like they did in the old days, except now you can replace it if you break it off. Now, when I saw this, I was like, that is fromage. It was good for them to leave it way back when. Yeah. I don't like the molded plastic clip, but when I have it in hand, it's really, really good. It looks a little goofy coming out of the pocket, but I mean, I just stick it in my pocket anyway, so it's not an issue. But this thing is a very cool little utility knife. Really, if you need a knife for like your shop or the kitchen junk drawer or something where you're doing that kind of a, this would be great for crafts, like when my girls do crafts and stuff. Sure. This thing's awesome. So I'm not shilling for Cold Steel. I'm kind of a fan, but not kind of a fan. I'm a big fan of Cold Steel knives, but I make no money by saying that this is a really cool new offering by Cold Steel.
Lynn Thompson is literally the
Slicey. Thank you.
Nice, Slicey. Lynn Thompson's literally the Chuck Norris of the knife world. So
he's the what?
He's Chuck Norris of the knife world.
Yeah, for sure. I was the conversation I got. Oh my gosh, snafu. So that's the Recenti custom knife factory. So the 2.0, what is that? Obviously, it's the second iteration, but how is it different from the first? Do you know? Thank you, Slicey, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate that.
I think I had the 2.0, but I did not have the first one. So I don't know exactly what the changes are, but I do know that I think it's a slightly different overall size. I think that they improved a lot of just everything about it. They improved the handle ergos. I think they changed the choil area for the sharpening choil. I think they used a different blade steel, if I'm not mistaken. They used a different clip, and they added a Timascus pivot collar on the new iteration.
Oh, nice.
There's a few changes. But again, that's just based on my memory, so I might be inaccurate.
You actually sent me some pictures of a Recenti you recently got.
Oh,
and oh my God, everything he does is just beautiful. Joe, are you familiar with his knives, Peter Recenti?
Oh yeah.
My!
I love Recenti. He's amazing.
They're so beautiful.
I did not expect to win he did silent bid. If you go on his Instagram, he did a silent bid, and I bid in there, and I did not think that I was going to win this thing with my bid, but I thought I was offering a fair price for what it was. That's nice. Bid, right? Like, I'm going to give a fair price for what I believe it should go for. His craftsmanship's great. So it actually wound up, I guess there was other people that outbid me, but it fell back to me because those people who bid fell out or whatever. So it fell back to me at my offer, and I'm stoked about it. I believe that I paid a really fair price for what it is. And it's epic.
So wait, the pictures you sent me, are those your pictures, or have you gotten it yet?
No, those are the ones Peter sent me. It's
okay.
Landing, I think, next week for maybe Thursday or Friday next week.
Just describe how beautiful this. It's a Nirvana, right?
Yep, it's
Okay.
small Nirvana. It's, I guess, the last of his tight twist Damasteel pieces he's going to do of that model, I guess. But it's tight twist Damasteel. So it's that real super tight twist pattern, and it looks really, really good. It almost, in certain angles, doesn't look like Damascus, and then in certain light, it just like pops.
Yeah.
It has a fat Damascus, a Nichols fat Damascus pivot collar, a zirconium custom pivot hardware, and then it's got 3D sculpted and contoured, fully 3D sculpted and contoured rock pattern handles and pocket clip.
Yeah, that's what really jumped out at me from those pictures, man. That handle is so beautifully sculpted. Yeah, you're right, Joe. It is. You see it, you're like, oh my God, someone's gonna own this, and it's not me. Yeah, that's a beautiful.
I'll have to come back on and show it off when it gets in.
Well, look at that. Alex, nice. Alex, what are you doing, man? Nice. I appreciate it. That's rad. Right on, man. Woo.
Alex, you are super.
Drinks on me.
Last week, however, has been amazing. So if you want to see a couple of those, I'm happy to show you.
Yes, please do. Let's see. I know. Let's see what else. Well, let's see. Show don't tell, right?
Okay,
Alex, man.
Yep.
This is and there's kind of the notch of it. There's the clip side. This is a Steve Carroll one-off custom.
Gosh.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And he calls it a spear cliff. Is this blade shape, but it's a one-off made from his scrap of CPM 154 and a 3D milled pocket clip. This thing goes in and out of the pocket like a breeze. He did a beautiful job with these liners. They're just perfect distance apart while still being really just a slim profile. These beautiful carbon fiber scales. And he has these really great purple bronze anodized pivot hardware and standoffs back here.
That dorsal view is so beautiful of that knife, because not only do you see the really cool thumb studs and the very gratifying jimping, but you also see how the thumb swale. Can you open it up and show us the spine again? You can see just flip it so we can see the spine. Yeah, just like that. Like you can see the thumb swale, and then how that perfect swedge grind kind of comes into the picture. That is just gorgeous, man. I follow him on Instagram, and I always stop and something about those are just beautiful. Now tell me, before we started rolling, you mentioned interesting detail about that knife.
So yeah, Steve Carroll is a really, first of all, just a really, really humble and really nice guy. I've had a couple of great discussions with him he was very open about his history and who his mentors were. And he's been, I think, making knives now for, oh my God, he told me what date he started. I know he started in a knife making shop and worked in a knife making, or a knife shop rather, not a knife making shop, but a knife shop for 11 years. He became obsessed with sleeve knives, and that's where he caught the bug and decided that he wanted to learn how to make the stuff. But he learned from a couple of old schoolers that aren't making knives, I guess, anymore, but they taught him to do everything from scratch, right? Just like a Tom Mayo or a Bob Terzwola would do. There are no jigs, there is no water jetting, everything is cut from a bandsaw in a raw form and hand worked from there. Awesome. And the fact that and everything is freehand ground, but it has extremely even plunge grinds. And I mean, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. And he's obviously, this is riding on phosphor bronze washers too. And it's just silky. And
so he's like the Quentin Tarantino of knives, because Quentin Tarantino used to work in a video shop and obsess over movies. And then he ends up, making some amazing, productions. It's kind of the same thing with this guy, Steve Carroll, working in a knife shop. And then he ends up busting this kind of thing out and by hand.
Yeah. And instead of having his blade blanks water jetted and stuff, what he's doing is he's buying the thickness of stock that his final blade will actually be. So this is 5/32 and so he doesn't have to surface grind it. Then he just basically cuts it to shape on the bandsaw and then does heat treat to it, or outsources through a really small shop that he really trusts, I guess, to do some of his heat treating, and then does his grinds, and everything like that to it after that. But this was a piece of his scrap that he turned his scrap into a one-off. But there's everything's hidden in hardware. There's no extra hardware on it. It's there's just a couple of points where this scale attaches, and that's it. And it's anyway.
Okay, so
that knife is yummy.
Indeed, yeah.
Excuse me, so beautiful.
That's one.
What? Oh my God, man!
This is
Dude, thank you. That's.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I just have to acknowledge this. That's a really thank you, man. That is amazing, man. I'm humbled. I appreciate that. For everybody, that's really cool. And if it turns into a competition, Justin is a good dude. I see that now. No, I really do appreciate it. And so let's see that cope you were going to talk about. Thank you, OCD for EDC.
So this is an Ed Cope custom. And this is called his LR6 is the model of it. And if you can see look at that beautiful 600 grit hand rub finish on the blade.
Put that a little closer to your camera so we can take a look at.
Oh, hi.
I mean, such beautiful hand rub satin all over this thing. And I mean, his machine work is incredible, but it's not, everything again is done by hand. I mean, everything is done by hand. All the contouring. Look at the beautiful contours to this titanium.
That is gorgeous.
And look down on it. I'm trying to get to an angle where you can see how well contoured.
Yeah, and my doing this doesn't change anything. All right, do that again.
So I was just trying to show kind of dead on. See how see how
the contouring is awesome.
Contour of the scales. All the way through it, even to the heel. The contours are incredible. It has a carbon fiber backspacer on it. And he was trained by Tom. He was trained by Tom Mayo. And he's from Hawaii. Ed Cope is. And a really, really special dude because he's also an ex-Army Ranger in the 75th Battalion, I think second of the 75th Battalion of 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, I think is what it is actually. I don't know if he's in chat or not, but he can correct me if I'm wrong. So his models, like this one, you can see it's just look at how, clearances are fabulous.
Open it back up again. So
that's the other thing. His detent, I can straight up and down, and this thing just fires a rocket.
4-inch blade?
No, this is actually about a 3.01 inch cutting edge is what it has on the card, but then it's about a 3.2, I think, overall blade length.
Looks a lot bigger.
And then about a 7.4, I think, is the overall length. But it's just a fabulous EDC size. It really is.
Yep.
Ergo, plenty of handle. And it's and he's doing what John Barker, Barker Custom Knives. He's doing, this was the first knife he's ever done using the Barker way of using thrust washers in the pivot. So it's got thrust washers inside of the pivot and then bearings riding against those thrust washers. So normally, normally bearings would ride on hardened titanium, typically, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
on one side and hardened titanium on the other.
Right.
So, because you can harden titanium and it does pretty good as a surface. But thrust washers are inset into the titanium of this. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay. That's what
the bearings are riding on those. So it's a much smoother surface and it just feels so good. Next level.
Hang on.
Is that like Shiro smooth?
It's a different smooth. First of all, it has a better detent than any Shiro I've owned. But it is glass, like glass on glass. So it's not I could swing it shut pretty easy like that. But it's just glassy. It's more of the. Hang
on one sec. Gotta say thank you so much, gents. I appreciate that. that's awesome. I'm looking at these graphics. I can't help but look at them. I really appreciate that. Can you show me the blade open of that? The Ed Cope. So what really appeals to me is if you could just look at the profile. Hey, Skywarp, good to see you, sir. If you could look at the silhouette of that blade with the long clip. I love the long clip, and then kind of where the straight spine breaks into the clip, and the relationship of that to that oversized kind of sharpening choil and the flipper. All of that whole area to me looks so beautiful. Can you put that last one up, Jim? Women carry knives. But to me, that is a really beautiful looking knife, and that handle looks awesome too. Yes.
Very clean build. Like, I love when there's just really well finished, either bead blasted or stonewashed titanium that's really clean looking. Again, a hand rubbed satin finish that's well done. There's just something very special about a very clean look like that to me. But I don't know if I finished my thought earlier when I was saying that when he served as an Army Ranger, those brothers in arms of his that fell in whether in war or what, I guess in combat, he named his models after their call signs. So T-22 is one of his friends that passed, and that's one of his models. And then this is the LR6, and the other one he does is the SR-33. And those are 3 of his models, all after the call signs of fallen brothers.
That is such a cool way to memorialize your friends and your experience.
But he's
got to admire that,
dude. I was hoping maybe he would pop by tonight. He said he might, but be able to. So
what's that?
I was hoping he'd pop by tonight, but I don't know if he's in chat or was able to. So
okay,
something, Bob, that you need to get together with him and have a chat.
Yeah, I would love to. OCD for EDC. Well, that's going to change tonight, sir. Oh, is that a Diskin I see?
Yeah, that's the Diskin IDF.
Thank you.
Integral.
Thank you very much, OCD for EDC. I appreciate it. And
I showed you guys this.
Yep, that's it.
Wingman.
Yeah, we saw it. But let's check out this Diskin. Where does that come from? That's gorgeous, man.
This is a collab that Matt Diskin did with Riot. And I believe he made 300 of them. There's this one that's all blasted finish, and it's got a hand rub satin on. You can't really tell, and it's integral.
Oh, that's what it is. I knew there was some USP about this, and I couldn't remember what it was.
This section here comes with like a carbon fiber inlay. There's one with that. There's one that's all black PVD. But I think they're pretty much all gone. I think Knife Center's got a couple left. But yeah, these go for about $375 to $400. I mean, pretty good knife. I mean, the fit and finish is amazing. Eugene Kwan just praised this knife. So when he praised it, I had to get it.
Oh yeah. So Matt Diskin, I know, is doing a collaboration. I think we talked about it. So when Nick Chuprin came on our podcast, we talked about he's going to be doing a collaboration with Matt Diskin, doing an automatic knife. I'm not sure if it's a company or if it's just a couple of, if it's a project with a couple of knives. I think it's more than one knife that they're getting together to do, but it's going to be a Nick Chuprin, Matt Diskin automatic knife collaboration, which just sounds awesome.
Sweet.
Oh, it is.
I guess I missed the maker of Spirited Knife there. Who is the maker?
Ed Cope was the last one, and the one before that was Steve Carroll.
Yeah, that Ed Cope and the Steve Carroll. I mean, those are just. So what is the right number of knives? That's what I want to get. I just want to talk about this for a few minutes. I want to find out what you all think. I mean, and this is an endless inner conflict of mine where I'm like, man, because in a way it's trapped money. If it's something you're not using, and it's something you're just collecting. And to me, there is obviously a value in collecting knives anyway. I always thought collectors were weird until I admitted I was a collector of knives. And, obviously I find value in that. But sometimes I look at at everything I got, and I'm like, geez, man, not using, carrying, slash. This is all trapped money. What am I doing? And then when it comes down to, yeah, I think I'll cut the cord with this and that. It's hard for me to do. James, thank you, sir. Much appreciated, man. Wow, you guys all rock. You people watching, thank you. You people, I sound like my grandfather. We'd come to visit, and he'd say, "When are you people going home?"
What do you people?
Yeah, right.
I think for us, I think for people like us, there really isn't a right number, because there's always going to be one more, you know. So you can get, even if you go by your favorite maker, say I'm going to get one knife from my favorite maker, you know, but he's going to come up with something else the next year. Then you're going to be like, wow, that one's better than the one I got, you know.
No.
And blade shapes, I mean, they're constantly changing, you know. A lot of them are similar, but I don't know. I think as long as you can take care of your other responsibilities, then, you know, have at it, you know.
Yeah, I think my take on it is I try and keep my hobby in check a touch, right? Because otherwise, otherwise I know myself well enough to know that I'm in way too deep, you know, and I would just keep going and going and going. So I want to try everybody's stuff. That's my thing. Like, I love the artisan craftsmanship piece of this community. I've met so many awesome people, knife makers and knife community alike, that I always want to try people's stuff. And the crazy part is it never ends, because knife makers evolve. Yeah. And their products continue to evolve, and their abilities continue to evolve, and their practices and what they're doing become.
And your tastes continue to evolve. So, I mean, you might be into antique fixed blades next year, man. You don't know.
Exactly. But with that being said, I try and keep it a little in check. And the way I do that for myself is I try and limit myself to, I do limit myself to kind of a number. However, it's not that number, the amount of dollars in that number continues to rise.
What, if you don't mind my asking?
Yeah.
Do you reveal the number? What's the number?
I got to keep it for myself. To keep I got to keep it under, you know, under 30 is about the number. So about 30 at any one time is what I've got. And, you know, if there's something really exciting, or 2 or 3 that are really exciting that I want and I'm going to buy, right? Or I'm, you know, let's say, like, for instance, Matt Christensen's in the chat. He and I are working on a build together that's going to be coming up soon. And he's become a good friend of mine, and we talk almost daily, and he's a great dude. And that piece from him will be carried, used, loved, and, you know, forever. Right. And some of my relationships will, like, ride in my pocket with me, you know, and that's a beautiful thing. And I can say the same thing for a few of my things, and a few of my knives, and those will never move, and they'll continue to get carried and loved on and used and so on. And those that don't are the ones that wind up getting filtered.
Okay. Yeah. I feel, well, what you're saying about knowing the person who's making the knives.
Derek.
I totally concur with that. You know, I've talked to a lot of knife makers on the show, and a lot of the times going into it, I might not necessarily fancy their stuff that much. And then by the time we're done, it's always a great conversation. There's always goodwill, and these people are consistently cool. And after that, it changes in a way. It almost changes how my eyes work. You know, I might look at something that I didn't consider before, and then after that conversation, I'm like, yeah, man, I really do want a Praetorian. That thing's, I mean, like, that's awesome. You know, so it's kind of a
good question.
What's the money limit? I mean, that could be, you know,
okay to share some of that. I mean, you know, the most expensive pieces that I've purchased have been my Jonas Iglesias Ion and my Tom Mayo Customs that I have, and they're all users, which is crazy. So they're my most expensive, and they're all things I carry. They're probably around the 2,000 to 2,200 marker. This Resenti that's incoming is going to be around that same price point.
Hilltop. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Man.
Yeah, I haven't been able to break the $400 mark myself.
Yeah. It changes. Believe me, it'll change.
It'll creep.
Oh
up.
no, it has. It used to be 30.
The CRK line at one point.
Yeah.
So,
Dirk, wow, 30. That's some great discipline. That's funny. That's what I was thinking. I was like 30. And then I'm like, well, maybe that's 30. Like, yeah, great discipline.
I
a
tell
little overboard.
You guys gotta understand. I tell myself that to keep it and it's mostly to tell my wife.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
They know anyway.
Just because you have 30 in the core collection doesn't mean you have 30 other ones in flux. Oh, these I'm planning on selling, and these
blades, 3 axes, and that doesn't count any of that.
Dave says he just kind of squirrels them away and then finds them later, and it's like Christmas. That's funny, man. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be like around here. The other day, my daughter came into my den here, and she said, "All right, Daddy," and she had her little camera. She's like, "Let's count how many knives are on your desk," and we counted like 42 or whatever. And they're it didn't even seem like there were much, but they're all like in little nooks everywhere. Whether it's this cheap little, I have a whole basket full of little slip joints that I use for pokey scrapies and other kind of stuff.
I've had buyer's remorse. Someone brought up a good comment, Bob, a second ago about buyer's remorse. And that's a really interesting thing, especially when talking about the number of knives in a collection. So I don't have a problem moving things out of the collection that don't wind up in my pocket, that I don't get the level of joy that I would get from something else that I would. Right. So, and those I will wind up selling, and whether it's to friends of the community, I try and do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's also, turning around and raffling them so people could have an opportunity to get it for a whole lot less, but play into a raffle that way. But there are 2 knives that I've had buyer's remorse in selling ever, and I wound up buying them both back, and it wound up costing me extra money to get them back. But one of them was this. This was one.
The Scout.
Oh, Scout.
This is with Nichols Blackout Damascus and a Jason Guthrie Scout.
So did you originally sell one that looked just like that?
No, this was the exact one.
That's funny.
No, I had to.
Sure, man. I'll sell it back to you.
The exact ones. And the other one was this, and this is a Cody Utzler duck.
That's cool.
And this is a bolster. This is a OD green bolster, my Carter bolster lock, and with all kinds of Zerk backspacer and pivot and S90V blade and Zerk studs. And this thing is one of those free droppers that everybody loves to talk about. So.
Right.
But this is definitely one that I have buyer's remorse or seller's remorse.
Seller's remorse. Joe, what were you going to say?
I've never had buyer's.
Have you guys seen now I just had the name in my head. Eugene Kwan just bought it. It's a custom starts with an S. They make Barons, and I feel like an idiot.
Look it up quick on his YouTube.
Yeah. You're on your computer door.
Yeah. Just look it up on YouTube and get back to us real quick.
What was that $400 knife? Lavender Pants asks. $400 knife. Oh, was it the Wingman or no? I don't know.
Oh, this one was $375, I think, or $395 for the copper variant.
Love that.
And $350, I think, was the just all steel, all titanium rather.
So, Ryan, I want to bring this up because Skiff Culprit.
Oh,
yes,
Skiff made blades.
Yeah, Steve Skiff. His knives are amazing.
A lot of people are after those. Those are the new hot number. That and the Oz Roosevelt. Those are the 2 new hot items out there.
I'm thinking about selling my entire collection so I can get a pocket clip of his. They're amazing.
From Skiff. He also makes those bearings special. They're called like Rocket Glide or
the Skiff Glide or something.
They're called.
Yeah, a lot of custom makers are using his bearings.
James seems to have, I know you guys know James better than I, but he seems to have a killer collection. Holy mackerel. James Moore, ladies and gentlemen. So this actually brings me to the last thing I want to bring up before Knife Fight. And that is last time you were on, Ryan, we talked about this. And then I've had a few conversations recently, one just today with someone that you'll hear on the Knife Junkie podcast in a couple of weeks, but about the concept of an OEM market, a thriving OEM market in the United States, a la Riot and We and Artisan and Best Tech and those kind of companies. And those aren't, I'm not saying those are strictly OEMs, and I wouldn't expect any company to be like that, but they're, why can't that be? Can it be? And what would it take to make that happen? It's just something that keeps popping up, especially now.
I think there are two ways to make it happen in my head. And market strategy is my line of work. So, thinking about how to make something out of nothing and create something new that's better is just what I do. So I think one iteration is to create a co-op, just like you have. I'm a sommelier, how that relates is in the wine world. When you have a co-op, especially in Europe and France or Italy or whatever, you have a cooperative of different growers that all have farms. And all of those farms produce grapes, and they all could make wine, right? But they probably couldn't process or have the facility or capability to process and ship overseas what they need to of the quality that they want to make. So what they do is they come together, they all profit share, and they create a product together from their farms. So and create a wine under a specific label of the co-op. Does that make sense? And then they're able to ship overseas and do everything they need to do. So a co-op is one. Hey, Ed.
Hey, Ed, how you doing, sir? We were just admiring your work, man.
Yeah, brother.
Gorgeous knife. I love that blade. Holy mackerel. We Knives of Columbus, Ohio. That's funny.
So I was saying a co-op, right? And where you have a co-op of makers. So a maker has his studio here, a maker has his studio here. Ed's in Hawaii, and you got people in Idaho and all over the place. Nick Chuprin in New York and so on. And they would basically pool their resources together as a community and basically with outside investing partners would build a centralized facility where they could then take their intellectual property, poured into this single facility that could also in tandem be a way for new makers to come up in apprenticeship with these legendary makers. So you've got a way to there's a whole, do you see what I'm kind of formulating?
Yeah, sure.
A spider web with the spider in the middle and the web branching out to all the individual makers, and all the individual makers would profit share in what's created from the OEM manufacturer here in the United States. So in effect, that's one thing I have a vision for. And we've got
that's
makers,
great idea.
Makers here in the chat that could say like, you're a fucking lunatic, pardon my French, but they could say you're a lunatic and that's way off and it'll never work. But I think it could if you make it lucrative enough. And everybody,
the labor costs and building costs in the States are just too much. I think that co-op thing that's a great idea. I think that's one way to go for sure.
And option two is
Carry Knives. Take care.
My opinion on option two would be that you would talk to existing manufacturers that still have the capability of growing. In other words, they're not at their maximum production levels. And they have space or facility or revenue stream that they would be able to support, creating a separate outlet within their manufacturing. Let's call it Buck, right? Let's just say Buck or Chris Reeve Knives or Medford. And they would create a Hogue. And they would be able to create a separate branch that would create a new private label for as an OEM with more of the profits and design work and everything that's needed, from those individual makers to be done in sprint runs.
It's kind of like K-Bar, what K-Bar is doing with Spartan on a slightly different scale.
Yep. With the riders doing with Medford.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, in terms of looking to a larger manufacturer to take on some of the creation of a smaller manufacturer's stuff.
Ed, what do you think about either of those? Ed Cope, you have any opinions? What we're talking about that way?
Well, as Ed is typing, I just want to comment about something Joe was saying about labor costs and that kind of thing. And the person I was talking to today about this was saying, like, Americans need to do a little more sacrificing if we want to bring stuff back home, and maybe that's part of it. Sorry, Jim, can you bring up Ed's comment there? Keith Edick does that. Edick.
Yep. I know that Ed, you did a run, and I actually have one here. Yeah. I have one of Ed's production runs with Keith Edick. This is his Project Venturis. And this is his Ed Cope's design, but production by Keith Edick. And this is based on his SR33 model. But then I sent it to Ed to do some pretty cool, like, dual tone Anna work to it on the clip and the handle scales for that.
Ed, I forgot you designed that. I forgot that's your knife. That is a really sweet looking thing, and it's a really nice. Yeah, me too. And that blade is a really nice complement to the other, to the one you just got, Ryan. It's like, I could see them together in my knife case. very nice. Beautiful. I got to say though, still that clip point is just, that's so up my alley. It's just so beautiful.
I think my number just went up.
Yeah, your numbers. All right, guys, let's get to a knife fight, and then well, over here on the East Coast, it's getting a little late for me. So I want to talk Scandi Grind versus Convex Grind. We have the Knife Whisperer here, we have Joe and we have Ryan here. Guys, would you like to take this? Do you want to do this debate, Joe?
Sure, or brother, if you want to go.
Let's see.
Or do you want to?
I'll do.
Oh, you're in. Good.
I'll do Scandi.
Fair enough. Are you comfortable with the Convex, sir?
Oh yeah. 100%.
All right. Well, then why don't we start with you, Ryan? And we're going to time this. We never time this, but I tend to bloviate and go on at length. So let's keep it to a minute and a half.
Okay. Are you going to ring a buzzer or like?
No, I'm going to look at my traditional watch type machine.
Okay.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Convex.
Yep. So convex blades, to me, are a way more. It's such a useful style of blade all around. It's a jack of all trades style. It's incredibly easy to take care of in the field in terms of stropping, and it's a very natural thing for an edge to do. Is to come to a beautiful apex, but you can also it will perform as well with your cutting tasks on food preparation. Like when I think of both of these grinds, I think of outdoor tools more than anything. But you do have convex edges even on your folders that are done by belt sharpening, right? You have a slight convex to it, and that slight convex helps to wedge out product and lead to that bevel, so it's super slicey. Right, and you're not coming up all of a sudden with a Scandi grind to the full thickness of your stock, right? So you just have a much better cutting performance out of it, more versatile for sure. Scandi's good at wood tasks. I mean, how many of us are actual bushcrafters? We all like to think like we go fix blades, we bushcraft. Like I've actually done like 52-day backpacking trips in
5 seconds.
Okay, time's up. And convex is the ones they're the ones I own. So
beautiful,
yeah.
Beautifully done, beautiful. Thank you. I made that for the guys that can't afford the expensive customs, but would be able to afford the mid-level knife around $400. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that is before we get to Joe. That is the whole point of these of why we keep bringing up the US OEMs is getting designs from makers that produce precious few into the hands of people like me who just like would love to have that design in hand, and can't quite get on the books or don't have the scratch to get the full custom. So yeah, nicely done, sir. All right, Joe. Now, so the Scandi Grind, why is it superior to the Convex, sir? You have a minute and a half starting in 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Knife Junkie podcast, I believe the Scandi Grind is far, far superior to the Convex. Now, the Scandi Grind has been around for generations, centuries. The Vikings used the Scandi Grind. Now, when you are out in the woods and you have to take down a stick to make a spear, what are you going to use? You're going to use a Scandi Grind. Say you have to cut tomatoes. I could still cut tomatoes with a Scandi Grind. They're not going to be pretty. It's not going to be a beautiful sandwich, but they'll be in my sandwich. I don't know. I say Scandi Grind all day long over Convex. It's been around longer. It's withstand time and the elements, and a real man carries a Scandi Grind.
Oh man.
Thank you.
Whoa, cutting right to the quick there, man. Well, actually, I
jugular.
Yeah, right. Let me give you my assessment. Not necessarily the arguments, but these two knives, these two edge styles, to me are kind of opposites, and they're both really awesome. I have a couple of each, and I've made a few knives and put convex grinds on them when I didn't have a belt grinder of any sort. And so I did it with sandpaper and all that, and it took forever. But man, are those sharp knives. And Knife Whisperer wins. Nice. I'm a Scandi man as well. So that the convex pushes it, but it doesn't get hung up on the shoulders, right? Now the Scandi comes in, it seems to come in thinner because you have less material. Like the same thing that makes material fall away nicely.
That much of it.
Well, but that much is just amazingly sharp. Hard to beat a good Scandi. As long as you're not trying to make pretty tomatoes.
You know what? You can still do pretty tomatoes with a Scandi grind, just as long as it's not a pry bar.
A 1/4-inch stock, yeah.
If you're truly out in the woods bushcrafting and making shelters and living out there making shelters, fine.
A hatchet.
Oh yeah, Scandi will outperform in a lot of those woodwork tasks, but a convex is bar none. Period. More versatile.
But Lavender Pants says a Scandi is dandy. What do you say to that? I like it. You can't say that for convex is.
Convex doesn't rhyme with anything. That's stupid.
I know, it's ridiculous. I got to say personally, if you drop me, in the middle of the jungle, I not that I know anything really, but I would feel more comfortable with a convex grind, just simply because you might be chopping. You don't necessarily know what kind of steel you're dealing with. And it seems like with a convex grind and a tough steel, I mean, there's nothing you can't do. Scandi grinds are yes, they're awesome, but it seems like they could get real thin. And if you're using it as
with you, I like to take sharpening stones so you can match that perfect Scandi and work on it. Like,
yeah, I know. The Knife Junkie, a real man's man. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Now I'm going to call him James. Thank you, James. Much appreciated. Yes, if you drop
among men.
Convex holds its edge longer. I agree, and it's less fussy. It's a little less fussy. Yeah, a little less fussy. But
no, I agree. But
I use the one I use for backpacking is an Adventure Sworn Explorer in CPM 3V.
Adventure
forever, and I also have a mini bushcrafter that's convex from Bark River.
Yeah,
CPM 3V. I love 3V for its toughness and not rolling my edges and stuff when I'm out in the woods. And
wouldn't a chisel grind be good in the woods too?
You know, if you had the flat on the right side, it might be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't speak from experience on it.
Yeah, right. I know it would be cool if it worked well, but I don't know. No, I do like a chisel grind, and I get into little things about Emerson chisel grinds because due to aesthetics, the flat is on the wrong side, like on most of the chisel grinds, unless you find a special version of it. Because to me, it's
I don't go out.
Because to me, the flat has to be on the side that you're cutting. Otherwise, it doesn't really work like a chisel. It works like a very obtuse blade. Yeah. So anyway, that's my 2 cents, and that's what it is. So guys, in closing, are you going to be joining us for any time during Saturday's town hall at noon Eastern Standard Time with Andrew Demko and Greg Lightfoot?
I'll be there.
I'd like to. I don't know what my wife has planned.
Yeah, I know. Well, if you can't be there live, for sure, check it out afterward. But yeah, I know we all.
I was there for the whole 5-hour marathon
that was
live. And it was epic.
That was rad. That was so much fun.
But it was also like 5-6 hours.
Yeah. But that was at the
Father's Day weekend.
Oh, it's right. It's Father's Day weekend.
You have for hand, Ryan.
I'm expecting my first kid too. So
are you? Oh man, that's so awesome.
So weekends, whatever you want to do, buddy.
Yeah. Best of luck to you, sir. That's great news. It's the best thing in the world. Fatherhood is awesome. Ed Cope, just take 2 knives into the jungle. 2 is 1 and 1 is none.
This dude, if anyone knows, this dude knows. I know.
Yeah.
But different experiences. His is in combat. Mine is like, summiting Mount Rainier, which I've done. So
wow, that's pretty damn impressive, man.
2 is 1, 1 is none.
That's very impressive. And I'm sure Mr. Cope is sitting there just like, well, I'm sitting there, yeah, you drop me in the jungle and I'll take a convex. You're like, well, all right, I'll drop you in the jungle, buddy. On your head.
A functional tool and have a backup.
Yes, agreed. We have a good friend of the show, Stu. He's a sheriff up in New England, and he also runs Stone and Steel, selling knives up there. And that was a thing he said to me in our first conversation back and forth, because I was going off about how I love to carry as many knives on me as possible just so I can pull out a different one and play with it when I'm in the office. And he's like, yeah, well, when you're out on the streets, on the mean streets, 2 is 1 and 1 is 2.
He's by me then. I'm in New Hampshire.
Oh, cool.
I need that rule with diapers.
What's that?
I'm definitely going to follow that rule with diapers.
Yeah,
good
luck. Good luck.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to set up a tactical diaper bag, man. Don't be walking around with some pink and brown thing. Get yourself like a cool Maxpedition and really have it loaded with all that shit. And then exactly. And make sure you have a
flower Scandi Grind in it.
Yeah, my Winkler combat axe, and tucked in there somewhere.
That's the Syoc axe, right?
Yeah,
cold steel Espada.
All right, gents. This is where I draw the line. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much to Ryan, Spirited Whiskey, for coming on again. It's always a pleasure having your input when you're not on, and then having you on, and also talking about this OEM idea. It's going to come up time and time again until you make it happen. Yes.
I like where your head's at.
Take the shotgun or the scythe. I will still take the shotgun. They're remaking Elmer Fudd. HBO is rebooting Looney Tunes, which informed my whole childhood in the mid to late 70s. They're taking Elmer Fudd and giving him a scythe to hunt with instead of a shotgun, because the shotgun is violent, but it's totally cool to kill with a scythe.
They got rid of cops. They got rid of live PD. They got the dog patrol. God, come on.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So So now we can expect to see Elmer Fudd swinging a giant curved sharp piece of metal, which it's good for blade people. Got to bounce, guys. Take care, Dirk. And thank you yet again. Hilltop, thanks again for that super chat. Really appreciate it. Sell knives, buy and diapers. Yeah.
Thank you, Ed. And
thank you, Ed.
I'm telling you, dude, your work is never, it's been fabulous. This is a whole nother level, man. Everyone get on board.
And Ed, I would love to speak with you offline and see if you'd be interested in coming on the podcast sometime and just talking about your adventures in knife making, etc. So thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Rusty, thank you. OCD for EDC. Thank you so much.
Good to see everybody.
So appreciated and humbled. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Joe Frazier, I was about to get you next, sir. Joe, thank you so much for coming on. Joe is the Knife Whisperer on YouTube. He's got a great new channel. He's got great taste in knives, and we see his dollar limit rising by the moment. Okay, definitely will, Ed. I will get your contact info from Ryan. And so definitely check out the Knife Whisperer. If you haven't subbed to him yet, do it now. Do it while it's fresh in your mind. His stuff is funny. It's good. And he's got a great selection, and it's ever growing.
Thanks,
I'm almost like out at 1,000 followers now for Spirited Blades.
So Spirited Blade, we always talk to him. We always call him Spirited Whiskey, but check him out as Spirited Blades on Instagram. Spirited Whiskey is more his lifestyle and work kind of and personal stuff. Spirited Blades is his account where he shows his amazing and sweet collection. So check him out there. Guys, thank you so much. I'd like to say for Jim, as always, working his magic behind the switcher. And and for Ryan and Joe, I'm Bob the Knife Junkie DeMarco saying, don't take dull for an answer.